Hello, everyone. I'm going to give you guys a quick how to actually apply these forecasts that I do in the collective for you. And we're actually going to be introducing the concept of manifesting with the sun. So obviously you guys, I'm assuming that you joined the collective to learn how to manifest with the moon or to get your chart done, all of that stuff. But something that's oddly neglected in the astrological world and in the world of manifesting, honestly, it's the sun. The sun is so fucking important. And if you, just like the moon, if you're ignoring the sun's movements, like you're just gonna fuck yourself over. So let's learn how to take advantage of the movement of the sun and to not fight it. Okay. So when we're talking about the seasons, I'm sure you guys have noticed this, like on my Instagram, I change my aesthetic with every season. So it's easy to figure it out that way. But obviously I do these forecasts in the collective for you to see what's going to come around the corner with all the planet movements and the theme of the season, all that stuff. But the seasons affect everyone very differently, just as the moon cycles do, because they land in a different house of yours. So the sun in general, honestly, it's our life force. If you guys like, I'm the best example of this, and I'm going to talk a lot about this in the self-development portal. The sun is our life force. And if you're not living your life with the sun, you're going to get sick. You're going to get very sick, like I have. And you, again, are denying being a human. So I'm not going to get into that because I could rant about that. So obviously, because of the sun being our life force, it was absolutely worshipped by the ancients. It's definitely heavily represented in abundance and energy. If you guys think about Leo, for example, it's ruled by the sun. It is very much associated with abundance, with riches. Obviously, like crops are associated with water and earth, but without the sun, they wouldn't grow at all. And in our charts, if you guys have watched that session inside of the free natal chart hub, you know that the sun, it's the ego, of course, but it's also the boss of our chart. Everyone knows their sun sign. We should obviously pay close attention to all the other stuff, our sun, moon, and rising and everything else. But everyone knows their sun sign, and that is because it's their ego, and it really is the boss of our personality. But what we're going to talk about in this intro session here, it's how the sun rules over our goals, whether we fucking acknowledge it or not. And I have been a victim of this absolutely this entire last year, like let me think about this. 2021, I really used myself as a guinea pig to see what just happened when the sun shifted seasons. And oh my gosh, it's so literal. It's just crazy how literal it is. So this is going to be a little bit of a review of the house system session in that free natal chart hub, but our rising sign, yes, it is our identity in the world, all of that stuff, but our entire first house. So if the sun transits, that just means moves through your first house, this is going to change your identity. It's crazy. So definitely pay attention to where you moons, full moons happen. But if you have, again, 30 days, the sun stays in a sign for 30 days. If that goes through your first house, you are going to change your identity, literally. If the sun's moving through your first house, it's going to change how you show up in life, your identity, how you approach the world, and then bring about new beginnings. Definitely new beginnings. It's again crazy when I look at how the sun affected me. I'm a Virgo rising, and Virgo season changed everything in my business, just all of it. And if you guys have your business plan, you know that our first house, it's tools to empower your clients with, self-empowerment tools for clients. So it can show up. I'm just going to do a bit of a personal introduction to this, but definitely it can show up as you changing your entire identity, or in your business, it'll be oh, cool. How can I, again, create new tools to empower my clients with? Next up, we have got our second house. So if the sun moves through your second house, it's going to affect your business. It also could affect your love life, but also it's really going to help you focus on becoming more in tune with and nurturing your actual environment. So it could, manifest as your house or something like that. But you're just going to notice, it's so weird. Again, use myself as an experiment. You're going to notice yourself just tending more to like bringing beauty into your life and spending more time on things. It's very interesting. So it'll definitely slow you down when the sun moves through your second house. Things that will definitely shift, again, if you guys have a business, it's going to be your values in your business. It's like, okay, where am I investing like time, money, love, all of that in my life and in my business? Absolutely, again, myself as an experiment here, you will definitely want to focus on your finances when something moves through your second house. Like the second house, it is all about money. And again, loving where you are putting your energy and your money. Okay. So if you guys are, building a business or a life that isn't aligned with your values, yeah, the sun moving through your second house is really going to show that. Okay. So next up, we've got the third house. If the sun is in your third house, this is going to be an intellectual and social shift or discovery for you. So I think it's awesome when stuff moves through my third house. But if you guys are like not solidified in your business, you're gonna hate this because it's gonna show you all these awesome, cool new ideas that you want to share with people. So just understand the third house. I'm going to talk a lot more about this again inside of the self-development portal where you guys really, really learn how to manifest. But the third house, it's ascended intellect. Okay. So this is stuff that you're going to be like, oh, wow, so exciting, but it's not ready yet. It's going to take a lot of rotations before it can actually blossom into something. So it'll be an invitation to explore education. Honestly, like you might have, again, in your personal life, more desire to seek new people in your life, or again, to like, explore shadow work within your relationship with your siblings and in your social life. Okay. So interesting third house. The way it shows up for me is, yeah, definitely intellectual expansion. Next up, the fourth house. This one I'm sure you guys are very familiar with by now. Our fourth house, it's our foundation, our family. It is our emotional self-fulfillment. So if the sun is in your fourth house, you guys better not even think about working on your business. It is all about rooting into your life. Focus on your family, focus on making yourself happy. You guys might have relationship stuff come to the surface when it comes to the sun in your fourth house, because the sun, like I said, it's our goals. So you'll just be naturally pulled. Again, like the sun, it's a life force, right? So it'll light things up that need your attention. You'll just be pulled naturally to changing your home life, to changing your personal emotional fulfillment. And if you have people in your life that aren't aligned with that, you're probably going to just lose interest in them because you'll be so heavily invested in yourself. So definitely a time to root into your family and, yes, your self-fulfillment. So again, the sun, yes, it is goals. It's also ego. Okay. So remember, like with every single season change, all of these forecasts that I'm teaching you guys about, just take a peek. Just be like, okay, am I protecting myself from something here? Am I like flexing for no good reason, protecting myself from self-fulfillment? Am I protecting myself from this? Am I protecting myself from money, whatever? The house that the sun is in, it's going to highlight that for you. So just do a self check every time we do these forecasts. And I promise you, it'll probably still be chaos, but that's okay because you're here for it. You're aware of it. So if the sun's moving through your fifth house, you guys definitely want to focus on confidence. 100% in your business. It might show up more as having to bring in creativity and a shift in your personal expression, like the actual way that you express yourself, and honestly, authenticity. Okay. Because a lot of people, a lot of leaders, a lot of people who claim to be confident, they're actually just faking it. Like they're not actually who they're supposed to be. So if the sun is moving through your fifth house, it's going to challenge you there. Okay. So definitely like get into your authentic expression. Make sure you are in your creative expression. Like if you guys have any artistic past, it's gonna come up when something is moving through your fifth house. And definitely take a look at how you're showing up as a leader and if your confidence is authentic. Next up, we've got the sixth house. This one hits people really hard. As someone who has made health probably my number one priority over the last 5, 6 years. This is easy for me, but unfortunately, it's not normal for everyone in the world to pay attention to their health. So when the sun's moving through your sixth house, you're gonna need to focus on your health. A lot of people get fixated on the wealth side of the sixth house, the manifestation side of the sixth house. But if you guys don't have a fucking healthy body, that stuff doesn't happen. And if you do try and manifest or like, bring more wealth into your life when something's in your sixth house, it's gonna burn you out and make you sick. Okay. So make sure before you chase that material abundance, like the sun will light it up. It'll be like, oh, I have all these new goals. Focus on your health first, or yeah, you're gonna fuck yourself over. Okay. So financial security, material mastery, that's all well and good. But if you are not honoring your vessel, oh my God, is the sun in your sixth house going to just blow up your life? Okay. So definitely please focus on your health when it comes to sixth house. Seventh house, this one's very surface for sure. So again, with the sun going through or hanging out in your seventh house, it's going to bring about ego death. So with our seventh house, it's going to show up first as social situations that don't feel good anymore, and you're gonna like set your sights on new networks, new groups of friends, new, I guess, like, yeah, development within your guys' online community. So it's all about your social circle, but more like the surface, like kind of like the purpose of it. Like, is this what I want out of my life? Are these the people I want to be surrounded with? It's not so much about the relationships or the emotional investment. It's just like, whoa, everyone here is shitty. Does that mean I'm shitty? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay. So definitely take a look at friendships. And yeah, if you guys have a business, definitely when it's in your seventh house, you're going to just want to focus on your online community. Next up, we've got the eighth house. This one is, as you guys remember from the house session, it's a difficult house. It's very, very focused on the emotional side of relationships, like actual bonding, faith, full trusting, like heavy themes, sexual merging relationships. And yes, wealth can come from this, but I do want to point out when it comes to the sun transiting through our houses, it really lights up shit that you don't want to focus on. Like the moon, it'll put a very specific challenge right in front of your face. It's like, this is what you do. But when the sun, sorry, is in one of your houses, it lights it up for 30 days. It's like 30 days of you frantically trying to do this goal when the sun is in that house. Okay. So you guys are definitely going to feel like, oh, I'm definitely not going as deep with my business as I can. That's how it'll show up in terms of like, if you actually have a business. Something that came up for me when the sun was in my eighth house was a need for contracts, because yeah, even though I do attract amazing clients now, those people might have shady relationships. And it has come up actually a couple times now where clients divulge information that they've learned with me to someone that they think that they can trust. And then that coach that they're working with goes around and yeah, fucks me over. So that was interesting for me. Again, I'm just trying to share like professional and personal how this will light your house up. So goals with contracts, very important when you have a business and the sun is in your eighth house. And then definitely it'll highlight your want or desire for collaborations. I just want to warn you guys, not warn you guys, but I guess like invite you to take your time when it comes to collaborations. I've got a couple things and couple important business placements in my eighth house, so I always rush into them. But again, eighth house, it's collaborations, joint wealth, but can you trust this person? So personally, I would assume that your eighth house is going to show trust issues. And then if you guys have a business, it'll definitely be like, oh, I want to work with this person. And yeah, contracts for sure. Ninth house, really, really cool. When the sun is in your ninth house, it's all about your expansion and higher self. You guys will probably get the urge to travel too, now that like the COVID restrictions are loosening up a bit. You guys are probably going to want to travel. That's like, again, I'm trying to think of like the most over encompassing theme and the urges that I felt when the sun moved through my houses. And yeah, ninth, it was like, oh, where am I going? And where am I going to move? I'm going to go here. I'm going to try this. And then as soon as it moves into my 10th house, I'm like, yeah, maybe not. So again, it's when the sun is in a house, it just is like, oh, really intense energy for 30 days. And then when it moves into another house, it's like, not into it, and completely different energy. So yes, explore other cultures, travel the world, higher education, but also remember the ninth house, you guys are going to want to set goals and focus on your ego when it comes to these things like cultural appropriation, understanding tolerance is a huge part of growth. If you have tunnel vision when it comes to your growth and your spirituality, you don't have tolerance. Okay. So learning tolerance for other people and the way other cultures, live their lives is a huge part of your ninth house mission. So when the sun is in your 10th house, for friggin' sure, you guys are going to focus on your business. There's no way around that. You'll probably get like a little bit of ego feelings about not showing up in your career that way that you want to quite yet. But honestly, anytime I see myself, but other people with the sun transiting, moving through their 10th house, it's just like, yeah, gotta get my business and social media, and I gotta get all this done. And it's like motivational, but it's very focused on building. Like it's very constructional. I think that's a word. I'm going to assume that's a word. So yeah, desire for legacy is how I see the sun lighting up our 10th house. And just be careful. What again, 10th house status. Just be careful. There will be an ego death if you guys are building a business from desire for status or legacy, to have something over other people. I'll just phrase it that way. So the 11th house, this is probably the most chaotic one, just a heads up for you guys, because the sun in your 11th house, that'll be your season of change. Okay. Technology as well. So for this one, it is definitely like the change that you want to see in the world. Like if you have business placements in your chart in your 11th house, yeah, it's like social impact, humanitarianism, activism for sure. But again, when the sun hangs out in a house for 30 days, it's going to light up the most like basic theme of it. And it's just change. You guys are going to want to change everything, and you're not even going to know why. You're just like, oh, I have to change this, have to change that, have to do this. New technology. I'm going to research a bunch of apps. Like that's what I did when the sun was in my 11th house. And yeah, you're going to be chaotic. Like if you guys think about, again, Aquarius rules over the 11th house. If you guys think about an Aquarius, you're going to feel like that the whole time the sun is in your 11th house. Okay. And last but not least, 12th house. When the sun is in your 12th house, it's all about healing, emotional healing. It's like, okay, what's keeping me from being fulfilled? What is the culprit here? And I'm going to focus on it. I'm going to bring an end to the cycle. You guys will feel a lot of completion happen. And thinking about the last time the sun was in my 12th house, yeah, I felt a lot of personal endings, like in a very good way. But if you guys are like clinging on to something, or if you're hiding something or repressing something, this will not be a good season for you. Just a heads up. So again, do all of the personal work, personal development, be honest with yourself. Don't lie to your audience. Don't lie to yourself. And this will be a fantastic, exciting completion, new cycle opportunity season for you, but it won't. It'll be a shitty end of a cycle. Oh, I want to hold on to this. I'm not ready to let go of this. Oh, look at all these lessons that I need to reflect on kind of season. Okay. So just make sure you're focusing on fulfillment, and the 12th house season transit will not frighten you. So again, this is just an intro to manifesting with the sun. I get super in depth with this stuff inside of the self-development portal. And honestly, the sun, it should be a part of your everyday ritual. I'm just going to plant that little seed right there.